Hello everybody, it is 10IQ. I will be your host for the next 3 runs for Donkey Kong and the 2 Bard's Tale trilogies. However, up next we have Donkey Kong 94 ran by NullSprite. Take it away, NullSprite.
Thank you. Hello everyone. I am NullSprite. This is Donkey Kong 94 for the Game Boy, and I'm gonna run this game as fast as I can. And I got some fellow monkey beater people with me, don't I, Mr. Ludwig von Koopa?
Hey everybody, and you hear me commentating the second run of NullSprite 2, because I'm also running this game. This is actually my third ever picked up speed game, I think, and it's NullSprite who motivated me to join the community, and it's the first speedrun community I ever joined, so still holds a special place in my heart.
And
And
you
I think I
also
am
hold a second
currently...
place on the leaderboard, I mean, so...
Yeah, I'm second on the board, but NullSprite's right behind me. At some point, he will certainly get me. Because I'm not
Let's
actively
hope.
running at the moment.
Well, maybe today is the day. So we're gonna get started here, and I am going to reset just to get the right RNG for the first portion of the game. Because we do need RNG. Alright, I guess we shall begin. We will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You may have seen this before if you have ever played a Donkey Kong game. The difference being that for this iteration of the game, we actually have some new tricks up our sleeve. So I'm just gonna backflip up real quick, no problem. Because why would I climb ladders? You know, that's slow. Nobody likes ladders anyhow.
Yeah, so the first 4 stages here, you will see a close resemblance to the old classic Donkey Kong arcade game. These are pretty much the stages that you see in the classic retro arcade. But in this game, they merely serve as a appetizer for the game, because the game has 101 stages.
Yeah.
Total. Over 10 overworlds, pretty much, if you count the construction site here as its own overworld. It is 10 overall. Yeah, so you can, and we already beaten it, so Mario's moveset has quite an improvement over the arcade. He can not only single jump and climb ladders, like there. He can do lots of things. He can do backflips, he can do double jumps.
We do have a lot. I recall saying yesterday when I ran Mesopotamia that that's a very easy game to run because you don't really do any tricks or glitches or anything like that. This game is very much not like that. This is a really packed game full of tricks and optimizations and glitches, and we certainly do take advantage of the fact that the Game Boy is essentially just like a rock that we tricked into thinking, because Game Boys are weird, man. Let's do wall jumps, because I can do wall jumps in this game, which work, as you might imagine, if you've ever played like Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World. You just jump off the corner of a tile, essentially. Boom, boom. Alright, didn't get oiled. It's a good thing. We do have oil in this game, the only enemy that announces itself. It's very hard to bunk into that as you're doing this strat. So I'm glad I didn't. Alright, that's not the jump I wanted to do, but that's fine. We could just do this instead. And as Ludwig said, there's a lot of stages in this game, 101 total. But we get them in blocks of 4. So this will be the boss stage for the start of Big City. we have this theory that this might actually be New Donk, even though it's not called that. Damn, that's too bad. Well, that's one death. There's always this thing like it's never a question of if you die in this game, it's when and how much it's going to cost you. So that's one.
Yeah, so I've decided that for every death that we see here, I'm gonna donate $5 at the end.
And I will do the same. So this might get really expensive really quick because I know how this game is, and it's very much easy to think that this game is gonna be simple, but Mario really doesn't have anything in the way of defense. Like every single thing you hit is gonna be an insta-death for the most part. So you do need to be a bit careful. So we're on the hook now for $5 each. That's wonderful. I'm gonna try. I do want to support the case, so I guess it's a case of I want to die a little but not a lot, and then we'll see. Please, thank you. Ooh, I was scared I wasn't gonna make that backflip. So in the cutscene, we got some new items here with the platforms.
Every four levels is a boss fight, and after this we will have a cutscene where DK like runs away from Mario, who's trying to catch him because he kidnapped our precious Pauline. And we try to chase him over like 9 more overworlds at this point. And every cutscene introduces pretty much a new element or a new bit of Mario's moveset that you might not know yet if you play this game casually. So some cutscenes lie to you.
Some cutscenes very much lie to you. That's true.
But most of them are genuine with the stuff that they introduce. So at the beginning they introduced the core mechanic of the levels, which is carrying a key to the appropriate door, which will end the level. So when Mario picks up a key and he carries it, he can also carry other things. He can carry these Bao enemies here over his head, but when he carries something, his moveset is heavily impaired. It's pretty much that when he carries something, his moveset is limited to what he can do in the arcade. He can just pretty much only single jump. We have a way to get rid of it.
We do.
We will see it in the second overworld after this.
So I just want to call attention here, by the way, to that big butt of Donkey Kong. And I always like to point out, and whenever I run this game, like if you look at that butt, you can bet that someone was paid good money to draw that butt back in the day. That's not by coincidence. This was a design decision for Donkey Kong to have this butt. I just wanted to mention that. I am going to reset now. The 2 reasons for that. The first one being it does save a little bit of time as opposed to waiting for the sort of like blinking transition between worlds. It also resets the RNG to a known state, which we want. So
also,
here,
I guess,
here comes what Ludwig was talking about. So I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna get this key. And I'm gonna backflip grab it and tumble once, tumble twice, which sticks the key. But when I go to the door, I still have the key. Because why wouldn't I? Like I said, the Game Boy memory situation is kind of weird. And that's just how it is. Right, got the jump. That's cool. I'm gonna do it again here.
There's another element that we didn't see before. Mario can pull switches, which activate elevators. Sometimes they open or close doors. And we see another nice glitch right here. That's the easiest level in the game.
Yeah.
because
It's not even a glitch, really. It is actually a core mechanic
yeah,
because you do use this in a later stage. My guess is that some developers were really tired of playing this level and just decided to place it there. Very clever. So because I reset the RNG, I know what these snapjaws are going to do. So I can just run up like that. They don't actually follow you around or anything like that, even though it might appear that they do so. It's basically just RNG. And the way RNG works in this game is that every time RNG is accessed, it is also changed. So as long as we just play consistently, we can pretty much guarantee the RNG for most of these stages, as long as we don't mess up. So enemies spawning, for instance, that would be an RNG change. So if you just play and don't die, and just play well, most of this is gonna be fine.
so this is I think the first water stage. You're supposed to swim under this thing, but we don't have time for that because in most games, swimming is pretty slow, so we want to avoid it as much as we can, and we just go over everything.
And there's also the fish. The fish are terrible.
Yeah, the fish can chase you down when they spot you. They can even change altitude levels according to Mario's position. And it can be pretty tough to avoid them.
You do have to go down there, though, if you are getting all items. I'm playing the category known as all stages, which basically means I must play all the stages.
Yeah, so there is a any percent or a beat the game category, as we call it, where we only play half the game because we can do a heavy memory corruption glitch for the initial save file that we pick to start not at construction site, which would be level 0-1. Instead, we would start at 5-5, I believe.
So we can do some things with memory. No!
Oh. Oh no.
Are you kidding me? Please tell me that's okay. It's not okay. Damn. Alright. What I did there is I soft-locked. I went a little too far to the left, and Mario got shot up to a position where he can never reach the ladder and climb up, so we are gonna play this again, because why wouldn't we? After all, is it really a speedrunning marathon unless something goes wrong, right?
Fortunately, we autosave after every 4 levels, so we only get thrown back to level 2-5.
Yeah. Damn, it's been a long time since I did that. Like, I think that's been like a year since I last got locked out like that, and it's definitely never happened in the marathon before, so that's interesting.
Yeah, so what even happened there? You saw NullSprite pretty much clipping through Pauline there, which is always standing right next to DK in these boss levels. So Pauline's hitbox is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in any video game. The hitbox is massive, but it is not active from the bottom. So if you pretty much clip through Pauline from the bottom, you can just go through her.
Yeah, Pauline isn't even real. You know,
Yeah,
she isn't real. She is a couple of blocks that you can clip through just for decoration. So, like, what are we even doing here, you know? See, that's what you want to do. Why didn't you just do that the first time, NullSprite? You dingus.
Yeah, what happened there, you pretty much got ejected right above Pauline there, and after you hit the trigger for entering the level, which is like a certain tile there next to the ladders, the game tries to execute some hard-coded movement, which is supposed to Mario grabbing the ladder, but because you are kind of misplaced, the game does not find the ladder anymore, and so you are stuck in limbo.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quiet for a sec just to get this audio cue that I need, because there is a jump I have to do. Ooh, alright. That's it. There's a couple of ways to do this stage. I do the safer way, I suppose. I cannot believe I got that soft lock. That is absolutely wild. I want to swear so badly, but I won't. Because that's something that doesn't really happen a whole lot. You can definitely get unlucky with it and get ejected up there, but it's something that doesn't occur very often.
Right now we have a level which we called 5 backflips.
Yes.
So we have
1,
2, 3, 4,
5.
5. So effectively, most of these weren't even backflips. Those were what we call front flips. So Mario can execute backflips as usual if you like hold right and then press jump and left at the same time. Mario does a left backflip, but if you right after you hit the opposite direction key, you hold the opposite again, Mario can actually do the backflip into the wrong direction, which we would call a front flip. It's quite useful in lots of places. And yeah, I will see it quite often.
And now we're sort of approaching ship. Ship is the part of the game where most everything is gonna be fine unless you mess up. But there's a lot of cool stages with a lot of cool tight technique. That's gonna look really good. So that'll be cool. But I gotta reset again for RNG. And also to save time.
And also the level transitions, they might also fall into the category of try to not look at it if you're photosensitive. Because...
Yeah, it's very flashing. Actually, it's interesting because of what they did. This game was released on the Switch this year. And what they did with the transition is make it much less flashy. So someone actually thought of this in the year of 2025 and decided that it wasn't acceptable. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, the new item that got introduced here are these springy things. How do you even call it in English?
The swing bars, yeah.
Swingy things, yeah, okay. We will see it right here, like when you hold onto it, and you try and you start holding up. Mario starts to swing on these things, and you can get quite some velocity from it, but it still takes some time. So it is pretty much a time waster to use it. So we want to avoid it as much as we can. Here we see a clip through the floor.
Yeah. If you notice, I waited a little bit in the previous stage for the crab to finish moving, and that was because if I don't, then it affects the RNG so that the Sir Shovelot there, which is actually the name of this enemy, would have faced left, and I wouldn't have been able to do that. Alright, let's see if I can do this. He's gonna flip, I'm gonna do this, get up here, run like hell across here, and then he flips as I go back. But that's sort of like the timing you would want if you do the stage this way. Which is gonna almost line up these perfectly. It didn't this time because I was a little bit fast.
This level has a fast strat that nobody has gotten in a run yet because it's... I don't know how precise it is, maybe multiple frame perfect stuff.
Yeah, it's a 5-frame gap. What you do essentially is you get into the little enclosure where Donkey Kong is, and you jump over him. So far, it's, I would say, task exclusive. You can do it as a human if you try enough times, but it's not like something you would do in an actual run. But by doing that, you save a lot of time. I think the task is... I think it's a 139 or something. It's really, really fast. But it also executes a clip that you can do with the crushers, which are those big blocks that fall on top of you. You'll see me backflipping the key and grabbing the key a lot in order to make it stick like that. Because then you can just drop to the door, and you don't take fall damage as long as you land in front of the door. While in that state, the game just decides like, yeah, it's fine. Nothing wrong here. I think I'm on the right RNG for this. I need this Shovelot to face left as he falls down. So we'll see if I manage to get that right. And I did. Cool. Because that makes it a lot faster than having him run all the way to the left and then all the way to the right to push me through. We do a lot of wall jumps here as well. There is like... It's fairly easy when you know how, and you do like a handspring jump like that. You just go into the wall, and then at the right time, press down. And it's actually quite forgiving. There is a big tutorial on it on YouTube somewhere. So you can do it if you want to. Alright, I did not press up. That was probably not great. But I did at least interrupt him before he threw this, so this should be fine. Cool. Alright, not bad. Decent ship. And now we're going into jungle.
Some overworlds have only 8 stages, some have 12 stages, one overworld even has 16, like the semi-final one. This one is one of the shorter ones, only has 8, so now we are entering the jungle.
Yes, we are. I will take last seed here. You'll hear us talking about like first seed and last seed a lot, and what that means is this brick breaking animation that you see actually changes the RNG. I think it's 57 times or something like that. There's a lot of RNG changes when the bricks go flying. So what you can do is to pick either pressing start before the animation or after the animation is finished, and those two are like reliable RNG values that you can start out with. So that's why we talk about first seed and last seed.
Yeah, I think there's even last seed +1, which comes in use for all either all items or all one-ups or whatever weird category we played.
Right, I think it's all items somewhere. It's been a while since all items was a thing. Right, I'm going to do an extender here. Which is when you do an extended jump off the spring like that. You gain 1 extra tile if you do a perfectly placed handspring jump on top of the spring. And now it is time to introduce the RNG monkey himself, DK Jr. DK Jr. does a lot of things in this game. He likes to flip levers, he likes to throw mushrooms at you. He generally is a nuisance. And here are the mushrooms we were talking about, and they actually make you small in this game. And when you are small, you take extra fall damage and you can't do any tricks. So, do not become small. It is not advisable.
Yeah, we will have an opportunity later to glitch him out and release him from his cage. I guess we will decide. We decide on the spot, or we will do it anyways. I guess NullSprite is a big fan of doing it.
I'm gonna base jump all the way down. Like I said, backflipping and grabbing the key at the same time does something weird where Mario actually doesn't drop the key. If you just grab it normally and fall, Mario is going to drop it. But backflip grabbing it is much better.
Also, what we did there was basically a death cheat. So talking about fall damage in this game, it's pretty severe. When Mario falls down from a certain height, he can do one of 4 things. Either he can land normally, when it's just a very small drop. And then sometimes he can do a little roll tumble that wastes the least amount of time. Then he can do a full tumble, which wastes like around about 2 seconds, where he just kind of breaks his leg or something. The animation certainly looks like it. But then he needs this 2 seconds to get his composure, and then you can continue. If you fall from even greater height, you just die. You just fall into your head and die. So what we did there, like this fall damage would have certainly been enough to kill him when he was falling down with the key in his hand. But since he grabbed it in a glitchy way, the fall damage was cancelled because the game instantly detects that he landed into the key door. So it kind of overrided the check for the fall damage.
For some reason, that takes precedence as long as you're holding a key in a backflip grab state. It checks for the door first before it checks for the fall. We don't exactly know why that is. Backflip grabbing things has a really strange effect on certain things. You can also do this to barrels, and in some cases enemies, and that really glitches out the game. There is a lot of NullSprite glitches, believe it or not. I'm aware of how that sounds coming from NullSprite himself. But it is.
I would certainly announce the NullSprite special.
Indeed. And here comes the big first trick you learn when you are running this game. And you are ready for prime time. You need to learn this jump, which is spike jump. Which is this gap here. And it's a pixel perfect jump that you do with a triple jump to get across. And it's actually really easy to get once you know how. It's just a question of lining up and then pressing A at the right time. It's like I usually describe it as like you know when it's right because you can feel it, which sounds really unscientific, but it's one of those things you just get into a little bit.
Yeah, this level has these monkey enemies who have their tails hanging down, and you're supposed to grab onto the tails and travel along these spike pits. As you can see, they moved pretty slowly, so we don't want to wait for them. And yeah, we found this way of skipping the section.
I seem to recall someone referring to them as frogs with sticks, because that's what they look like when someone was young.
Yeah, that's what they look to me. They look like frogs. Even though we see an actual frog right here as a comparison. That's how frogs are supposed to look.
Well, we do have a lot of different kinds of monkeys in this game, so I mean, why not different kinds of frogs?
Yeah. Return of ladybugs as well. Might be the last time that we see them, if I remember correctly.
I believe you are correct. The wall huggers look a little bit different. Like, it really depends on the tile set for which world you're playing. So if you were to swap the tile sets, like the wall huggers would change, depending on, like, there's differences between, like, forest and jungle and iceberg and airplane and everything. So here we have the introduction of the super hammer, which can break blocks. Which we are going to be using quite a bit.
We had hammers already available in the construction side at the very beginning, but these hammers, like in the, to reflect what Mario can do in the arcade, because that's what that was the one thing that made Mario kind of powerful, the hammer. But in the in those stages, the hammer was a one-time use only, and they would disappear afterwards. Here, the hammer will actually reappear after a while.
In some cases, I think there are a couple of times where it doesn't actually do that. I missed the second tile. Let's hope that's not a problem.
This should be fine.
It should be fine, but you never know. It's me playing. Like, all kinds of weird things can happen.
Yeah, Desert has a lot of difficult tricks of the stages because a lot of them are designed like a maze, and you are supposed to spend a lot of time in them. And we found quite the neat skips to save significant amounts of time in them, but the tricks will become more and more difficult.
Desert is like one of those worlds where if you still are like on pace and your splits are green, this is like there's a good chance your splits might be red after this, because Desert is it's quite easy to mess up and then start wasting a lot of time because you messed up. If that makes sense. There's a lot of high risk stuff you can do here.
So here the boss fight, we didn't get the correct RNG here for yeah, a really bad one. So these extendable ladders here, you would suggest they would work with the regular RNG, but they really are not. We spent quite some time figuring this out in the game's code even, or in the RAM watch, or whatever you would do in the emulator. But we couldn't figure out what they are exactly tied to, these cycles. And it's a bummer, because especially for this one level here, it would be really cool to be able to control it. Because we want this ladder to instantly extend, so we can use it. But here it just stayed down for the maximum amount of time.
So I reset here, and that is because I need some specific RNG for 5-6.
So we see a cool glitch here. So when we grab this hammer here and we do a very specific movement execution here, we can actually walk through spikes, which is definitely not intended. So before I continue talking, I will give NullSprite a little bit of time here because this stage is very difficult.
Yeah, this is tough. This is what I was doing the RNG bit for. I need some specific movement for the fireballs here. Get this, jump. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. All right,
Nice one.
cool. Got
As you can see, when Mario drops a key, it stays there for a few seconds and then it starts blinking. Yeah. And after a few more seconds, it will actually disappear and reappear in its originated spawn location. So you don't have much time before it disappears.
Look, Mario, I am begging you. Thank you.
Yeah, for some reason it is way easier to pick up the key with a backflip glitch when it's in its originated spot. Once you picked it up, I think the time window is like halved or something, where you can't pick it up like this.
Yeah,
I don't know the reason.
Something happens with the key. It's really, really wild how much more difficult it gets, and you have to be more precise in when you pick it up. But you know, that's just sort of how it goes. And as mentioned, the key actually stays for 8 seconds after you drop it. So as soon as the key has sort of like finished falling and it flips around and goes back to its normal state, then you have 8 seconds to do whatever you need to do before picking it back up. So, I was debating the strat for this stage here. We have a couple different ones. I think I'm gonna do the safer one, which is the double tumble one, because I already messed up enough in this run as it is with the soft block I did. So
this is one of those stages that if you play this game for the first time casually, even though it has 300 seconds, you might run out of time.
Yeah,
because you need to figure out how to beat it. Yeah,
We have some remedies for that.
It has a really fast stretch where you can finish it in like 276 remaining seconds. But it's called a pyramid jump, and it's one of the toughest jumps you can do in the run. And if you miss it, you lose like, I don't know, 20 seconds?
Something like that. And I think, like, if you've ever played this as a kid, you remember this stage here and how difficult it is. And we're just gonna not do any of this. We're just gonna do this instead, and that'll be fine. We are gonna use the ejection mechanic a little bit, because if you throw something into a wall, like the key, the game will want to eject it up and to the right. And so, by placing that platform there, we actually... I did not want you to go there.
Now this enemy is kind of in the way.
Yeah, I'm playing it safe and just like letting him. Right. I was trying to do a cool thing here. I have no swag. No swag today. Fine. No swag. That makes me very sad. Maybe I'm getting old.
Oh, it's fine. You're doing great. It's another almost frame perfect pickup there after the backflip that you do to regrab the key mid-air. Regrabbing keys mid-air is also pretty tough on the timing.
Yeah. You will see that Taz has a lot of strats where it picks the key up in mid-air to sort of like climb vertically, but there's really only one person I know who could potentially do that in a run, and that's the world record holder, PTO. Because PTO is absolutely insane at this game. Whereas the rest of us are not, so...
Shoutouts to PTO, shoutouts to the whole DK94 community altogether.
Yes, indeed. You know who you are, and we love you all.
Alright, now we're out of the desert, and we board the airplane, which is another short overworld with only 8 stages, but some of these stages are relentlessly difficult, and we are getting introduced to one of the worst things in the game, the wind mechanic.
Yeah.
So now we are like out in the open on the outer side of the airplane, and the wind is trying to blow us into a certain direction all the time.
What's interesting about the start of Airplane, at least, is that there's not like a whole lot of tricks you do other than just really precise like trick jumping. Like this one. This is like the bane of my existence as like an early speedrunner of this game, because if you mess up this jump like the first time, then you spend the next 50 minutes like trying to get it right.
And now we're in some sort of machinery, so there's no wind here. Again, we denied severe fall damage here by glitchy grabbing the key with the backflip and then instantly fall into the key door, which again overrides the check for the fall damage.
Ooh. That was close.
That was pretty tough, but you pretty much cannot fall off there, even though it looks like it, that the wind kind of blows you off there. If you keep holding left, you are always safe.
Yeah. It definitely looks really impressive, though, because the game wants you to like go across and do the whole switch thing, and there's the thing in the center where it actually can electrocute you, and so you want to avoid that. But instead, we're just jumping up, because why wouldn't we?
Now we're getting introduced to cannons who shoot cannonballs in 3 different directions. So first they fire straight, then in a 45-degree angle, and then a 90-degree angle. Then they repeat the cycle backwards.
I'll wait for this. I don't want to risk it. I could have gotten in front probably, but I don't. The thing is, the bullets are also slightly faster than Mario with his walking speed, so You don't really want to get caught with one like right behind you.
And then also will probably count in Norwegian, like he always does in in runs.
Probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yay. Now you know.
So you can actually, there's a strat to skip using this swingy thing, and you just do 2 double jumps over these spike pits. Because you're going against the wind, they are extremely precise.
Yeah.
Like if you mess up by just 1 pixel, you just fall into the spike pit.
They are also not faster. I know the task does the swing. So if anyone tries to tell you that it's faster to jump, it is not.
It is not faster. It is certainly more safe though, because what we didn't mention yet, these swings, they can be really trolly, because there is a certain frame where Mario swings and tries to like get a launch off them. There's always the chance that you fall flat on your face. I think that's like one specific frame or multiple frames, I'm not entirely sure. When you release Mario at this perfect time, you will just fall down. And that wastes a lot of time, because you also get the tumble animation.
Yeah. So I didn't get the swag jump, because Mario starts in midair. We sort of have a gentle person's rule here, that if you don't get the mid-air jump, like on the frame that the stage starts, then your run doesn't count. I didn't get the jump, so my run doesn't count, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not sure I wanted this run to be official anyhow, with the with the soft block and everything. Now we are coming up to Iceberg. If you are somehow still in the green when you come into Iceberg, then there's a very good chance that Iceberg is going to ruin your day. It is probably the hardest part of the game.
Yeah, I would certainly agree. So we get introduced to the ice mechanic here instantly. So and in the first level here, I don't think even the TAS found a way yet to break through these ice blocks here. You actually have to wait for this fire enemy to melt it away for us. It is a neat way to introduce how this works from a casual perspective. Also by the flame, he just walks. He just walked to the right and out of existence.
Yeah, there's a little gap there, and there's a little cage outside. And if you look at it like with a map editor or something, you can actually tell there's also, I think, 6 1-ups there.
Nice.
I don't know why, but they are there.
I guess they originally intended to extend the level a little bit or something.
Wow, first try Walter jump. That's incredible.
Nice. Yeah, that's not easy to do. So for some reason, you have a certain amount of frames to do the double jump on the wall, the wall double jump, so to say. But if you execute it from icy ground, which we just did, the time window is much tighter. So it's very much harder to execute it, and getting it first try is pretty difficult.
And also, I just killed the 2 penguins in existence, because we're doing the Metroid thing where we're killing the animals. There was no vote on this. That's just how it works. So we're gonna do a little fun jump here to get here, and then we're gonna do a little clip through the crusher and get up.
And that was the NullSprite special #1, as I call it.
I don't think it's called that anymore. There is a trick called a NullSprite special. We're gonna get to that in Dash 7, and
Yeah,
I don't. No, there is a trick coming up now, though, that I will mention, which is the icicle jump, which is the hardest trick in the game. If I get this, I will scream like a 4th grader. You have been warned. We're gonna try. Always need to try.
Best of luck.
That could have been it, but
I think you were like 1 or 2 frames early there.
my fingers are old.
Yeah, the icicle jump is definitely multiple or pixel perfect things in a row.
Yeah, it's a frame perfect, pixel perfect, movement dependent jump that saves 10 seconds, and no one ever gets it in the run, but we always try. It is ridiculous.
And the funny thing is, if you manage to almost get it, like if you are 1 frame off, you will get even heavier punish, because then you will automatically grab that item to the top left, and you will get what you didn't see yet. You will get the you got. So you see all these items that we don't bother collecting. These are pretty much 101 purses, umbrellas, and what's the third one?
The hats.
Hats, yeah, the hats. So Pauline has a very large stash of these items, and she keeps dropping them in all these stages that you should get carried through for whatever reason. And if we manage to get all 3 items in a stage, we will get a bonus game after we finish it, which wastes I don't know how many seconds, probably like 15 or something.
Yeah, it's a lot, at least.
Yeah, so we want to avoid getting all these items, but if you manage to get that item in 7-5 with the almost icicle jump, then you cannot avoid it anymore. So what we saw here was the real NullSprite special.
That's right.
We used to go through the water there at the bottom, which is littered with very dangerous and sometimes unpredictable to figure out where they go enemies. And NullSprite found a way to get the key stuck with the double tumble glitch, and then I guess he accidentally found out that if you place the ladder right, like the buildable ladder, like right under the key door, and you have the double tumble glitch, the game kind of fails to. The game wrongly assumes that the ladder that you just placed is a platform instead that Mario can stand on, and so the game just gives Mario the benefit of a doubt and just ends the level because it detects, yeah, Mario's just standing right on walkable floor, right on the door, and just ends it. So this saves a lot of time in the run, and it's also much easier than going through the water.
There is also another faster version of it, but it's RNG dependent, and I don't know which RNG I'm on, so it's fine. Now kiss. Mwah.
Yeah, these.
If you don't get the Walters kissing, then you are doing something wrong in your run.
Yeah, these animals that we call them water.
We do. Walter the Walrus. I don't know exactly where that originated from, because that's not the official name. But they are Walters to us.
Now we have no choice but to execute the intended mechanic on like walking onto falling icicles. Especially that backflip there is pretty dangerous, because sometimes the second falling icicle can actually get you.
Yeah, you need to be careful with how you position yourself. This is the fastest enemy in the game, this fireball. It is so ridiculously fast, and I can, just barely get past it. And if you let it loose, then it's really not going to be a good time. All right, we'll do this from first instead, I guess.
Yeah, Mario definitely got a hot bomb there, but he survived. That's all that counts.
Oh, do I dare to do this? I've already softlocked once. I'll try.
You can do it, man. It can only happen once, right?
Oh, thank God. There we go.
Nice.
All right, so what happened here is a Ludwig von Koopa special, which is if you reset before the final boss stage, like I did, And your added times are within a certain range. And you do this out of bounds jump to get ejected up and wrap around the stage, and you stand on a certain set of pixels. The boss stage just kind of ends. The game just assumes like, well, it's over. Why is it like this? I do not know, but it is like this.
Yeah, we have a strong suspicion, but I think it's a little bit too excessive to explain it now. I think it would take 4 levels to explain what technically happens there. What basically happens is because you reset, the game thinks you are on a different boss fight, I think. So it wrongly assumes that if you stand on a certain tile, it ends the level, which should not happen. So now we are on what the game wants us to be, the hardest overworld. It is definitely a contestant, but I think Iceberg is still worse than this, even though it has 16 levels, and the later ones also have quite the difficult break roster.
We do get introduced to the hedgehogs, though, and they are plentiful in Rocky Valley. There's a lot of hedgehogs here, and they are just like any other wall hugger. They're like the spiders in the forest, essentially. But there are so many of them, and they get in your way, and they really like have a surplus of them. Like they really, really have a lot of them. I got the jump in the beginning there, and that's cool. And here we have waterfalls for the first time. And they are ridiculously hard to mash through.
Yeah,
So,
so
this stage.
8-4 is pretty much RNG hell. Because you are dependent on DK here to have these platforms extended.
I think I know which RNG this is, though. So maybe we're in luck here.
Yeah.
I think I know exactly which one this is, because I'm gonna get, like, this climb and go up just in the nick of time here. Yep. For a 175 or a 174. So that was consistent, at least.
Yes. So when DK or DK Junior have a lever right next to them, it's completely dependent on the RNG if they flick it or not in their cycle. Sometimes they skip it, sometimes they pull it, and I think the time between the pulls is also randomized. It's a kind of can be one of 3 time values. So
this is going to look a little bit insane. Let me just start by saying that, because this strat is kind of wild, if I can get it. So we got the key stuck there. And I'm gonna do the thing where I just, like, let him go, because that's also perfectly fine. So essentially this is a double tumble. It's a double tumble, but if you, on the second go, grab something, like a hammer, then you also stick the key. Right, we're gonna do some clipping, because hitboxes are merely just suggestions for the most part in this game. Like elevators, not so much.
Yeah, the key is a mighty tool for us. Not only for ending the levels, but also for getting through the stages quickly. And now we're gonna release the monkey, right?
Yes, we are releasing the monkey, and I even got the right RNG for it too. So, I am going to place this platform here, and then he just exits the cage and goes on his merry way. See ya. Shoutouts to Simon Nar, the world record holder of Just Jackrabbits, by the way, who suggested to me one stream that, like, what happens if you place the platform under the monkey? And I'm like, I don't think you can do that. And it turns out you can, and it turns out something does happen. And it's completely useless and doesn't really save a whole lot of time. I don't think it saves any time at all, to be frank. But it's much more fun to show that off in a setting like this.
Fun enough, this boss stage here has a ridiculously hard, fast strat that is so hard that not even the world record holder goes for it. And that tells you something.
But it's definitely a fun strat to look at because it looks really impressive. It's a great like IL strat.
These boulders that you just saw, they have very strange physics interactions with Mario. If he stands on them, sometimes your jumps get completely eaten when you try to jump off these things, especially with backflips. So you have to time it really well there.
This is the worst stage of the game. I'm just gonna say it right now. Nobody likes this stage. It is terrible.
We have some waterfalls here with fish swimming in it, and we try to skip using the buildable ladder, and he got it first try, nice. But he's not out yet. Yeah, he does the funny glitch here. So while you are in this single tumble state, where the key just floats above your head and follows you, this state resets after a few seconds.
Yeah.
But during these few seconds, you are completely immune to damage and to like enemy projectiles and everything, and you can actually walk over spikes. The game just does not care. Another level here where we abuse the key mechanic to cancel fall damage.
Gotta do the base jump. It looks really cool, and it also makes the stage a whole lot more easy because they want you to do this whole like building as you're falling thing, and it's just never gonna work out the way you think it is. So here we are doing this. I think this is maybe the stage I spent the most time on as a kid because I never understood like what you're supposed to do in which order to complete it. And there's, you know, faster ways to do it, but this one works. The trick here is to finish before he starts throwing boulders, because then the stage is just gonna be absolutely crazy.
We're coming already at the final section of
and here the game lies in the cutscene. Do not jump in the lava. You will not simply catch fire. So beware.
I guess the game actually ran out of new mechanics at this point, so it just lied to us.
Yeah, probably. I just wanted to see if we would trust the game, and now we know not to trust the game, so from this point on, I don't believe anything the game tells me. Also, I reset also before this for the same reason that I reset in Iceberg. We're gonna do the out of bounds trick again, which is easier here, I will say.
I also have to give credit where it's due. So you told earlier that I found the Iceberg skip. I actually did not. I found the skip in this level here, or in 816, and then PTO. The world record holder, he tried this in all the other boss stages, and it worked in the Iceberg one.
See. So it was a collaborative effort.
Pretty much, yeah. But this one I found really completely on accident, like in the upcoming boss stage. But this stage here is extremely long and difficult if you play it the intended way.
You mean like I'm doing now, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, we still skipping lots of climbing and by these double jump stuff.
Yeah. There is a jump you can do here which is faster, but it's hard to get and it's not very precise, and I don't usually go for it because I end up wasting more time than I save. So, because we are already behind at this point, I think it's safer to just do this.
It's one of the most difficult jumps you can do. You pretty much have to do a double jump from a non-existing platform. Like from a non-existent extension of the existing platform. And it's extremely precise, and if you miss it, you lose. Also, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, it's a long time to wait to get back up.
Also, for some reason, I don't know why, but if you waste too much time, the glitch that we are going to execute in the boss stage does not work anymore. It's
No,
not only
there is like it's a final like total score thing check happening here. So okay. Let's see. I missed the first one, so now everything is like not where it's supposed to be. There we go.
Yeah. Again, this is what I did just an accident. I think I tried to just backflip through Pauline, and then the level suddenly ended. When I found this, and I was like, "What's happening here?"
All right,
So,
it is
same
time
thing
for
happened.
Tower. Final whirl of the game.
Yeah, I
So
think the timer started way too late. I think we are at the exact 1 hour mark or something right now, so still pretty good pace for a marathon run.
Interesting. I will say it's interesting that I haven't had another death yet, because there have been so many opportunities to do that.
Well, now that you mentioned it, let's not hope it happens at the final boss fight, because that would waste the maximum amount of time.
Yeah. That was a good backflip up to the crusher. So I picked a certain set of RNG here because, especially for this stage, if you don't know which RNG you're on, then this stage is all kinds of terrible. And also for the next stage, there is some RNG we need, because there is a monkey with a switch who controls a conveyor belt. And if said monkey doesn't flip the switch, then we are in trouble.
Yeah, Tower is pretty much a boss rush. Every single level is a Donkey Kong boss level. And the first 4 levels also all have Donkey Kong Jr. in it, who does silly things.
Indeed.
But
his
we'll get our
days of
revenge
doing
soon.
silly things are coming to an end.
We will get our revenge soon, yeah.
Oh, that was close. I think maybe I could have made that if the mushroom hadn't been in the way there.
Yeah, you were on the RNG cycle where you can barely jump off this platform as it disappears.
Yeah.
But 170 is still decent.
I just didn't remember what to do. I never get good RNG here, so it's like once I do get it.
Now you see us having control of some switches here or these key blocks that we push upwards, and that's the only time you see them in the entire game. And I'm actually locking up the little monkey here, which kind of upsets.
He can atone for his
both of them.
sins in this tower.
So that's the last time you're gonna see him. He will not bother us any longer.
That was a really fast stage too, by the way. I got in before the bird.
Yeah, you did the no bird cycle, which is cool. So I guess you will reset again.
Yes. There is a
stage
stage coming up here where RNG is a heavy factor. And it's fairly infamous for making one of the runners of this game lose a world record run because Donkey Kong wouldn't let him through the door. And he just stood there like for cycles and cycles, not flipping the switch. And the timer kept running and running. And then eventually there was just like nothing to do.
Yeah, this level is awful.
Let's see how this goes.
Shout out to another former runner of this, Spark City. I guess he got a world record run denied by this level because DK decided to not flick the switch and open the gate for like 3 times.
Yeah. So right here, this is where it went wrong. He's gonna flip it for me now, though. because I know the RNG we're on, and so we did waste a teensy bit of time, but that's fine. That's to be expected, unless you are very perfect with the first stage. And then the Crumbling Tower, which is this wonderful stage here. But because we have backflips, it's fine.
Yeah, right, now...
The game sort of like wants you to go up the normal way, but...
Now it seems to be the final level of the game.
Oh
There's
boy.
there's no more ladders upwards, so DK cannot escape from here.
We got him now. He's in the tower throwing barrels.
So the gimmick here is that these barrels, they actually do not stop at the ground level like they used to do. Is that we have to do these hand jumps here and kick them over with our feet.
DK falls, down the tower he goes. We get to save Pauline. Yay! Surely that's the end of the game.
That's the end of the game, right? Or is there more?
I think maybe there's a little bit more that we need to do. Maybe there's a little bit more we need to do first.
What? Stage 9-9? What is this?
And then we got multiple Paulines, because you do in the emulator, so that's fine.
There are lots of rooms, but they do the opposite thing to DK for some reason, and now he is the giant ape that we all love and caress.
I think that maybe you do. I'm not sure that I do, but that's fine. I respect your choices in the matter.
DK can be a good guy in some Mario games.
You can, just not this one.
So we have 3 different cycles here. We just did the first. We have to hit him twice with the barrel to make the next cycle appear. And where these things fall down is completely random. We can manipulate the RNG in some way or form, but the RNG manip that I came up with is pretty tough to execute, even though I'd only get it like half the time. Got the fast fist cycle here. Sometimes there's a random 3-second delay between these two fist bombs.
I have 2 more barrel hits and then time is coming up, so
yeah, time's coming up.
Finger on the button here. On this next barrel hit, it is time. Time.
And time. So the timer says 1:05:05, but I'm pretty sure the timer started like over a minute into the run, so I guess it's some sort of a 1:06:20 or 30.
Yeah, that sounds about right with the soft lock.
Which is still an excellent time for a marathon run, so GG.
Thank you. Even soft lock in forest on this run, which is incredible, but you know, that's how it goes.
And I can't stress enough, we only had 1 death in the game.
Which is also almost unheard of, really. That's quite something.
And we even played more than 101 stages because of the soft lock. Had to repeat 3 of them. So that's a very good ratio there.
And then, of course, in the end, we find out, oh, it was all, you know, sort of an act. We take a photo together and everyone's happy. And then Mario goes off to Mushroom Kingdom, because this was like what happened just before Mario found the Mushroom Kingdom in as far as the lore is concerned. So,
but as we know from the lore in Super Mario Odyssey, Pauline is still like traumatized by all that happened.
Gee, I wonder why.
Even though it was all a hoax, I think it felt pretty genuine to her.
So anywho, that is Donkey Kong 94. If you looked at this run and thought to yourself, this looks fun, or maybe I could do it better, then we would love to have you as part of the speedrunning community. So definitely give it a whirl if you think this looks fun. And I guess that's going to be it for me for this marathon. But thank you so much for having me, and thanks for letting me play the silly monkey game on this wonderful, wonderful event.
We're really glad to have you. Thank you so much. If you can't tell, it is Novo here. 10 decided to finally get some sleep. He's been up for a minute, so don't blame him. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the intermission screen. Thank you all for running, and we should have Organ Mike here soon for 2 back-to-back Bard's Trilogy. I think that's what it's called, right? Yep, the Bard's Tale Trilogy, runs. So, hope you're looking forward to that, and I'll talk to y'all soon.